recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good. So
thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back. And
3 yards to go here on second down. And they'll go with the race. And touchdown! A big play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And his guys have taken the lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Any breaks they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive, but they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On second down, here's Rodgers. On the crossing route, he hits Demaryius Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to let this one go deep and almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
The name of the game, as always on defense, put pressure on the quarterback. And that's exactly what they've done today. It looks like they've got him a little bit rattled. That would have been the second interception in the first half.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Quick hitter here, it's complete. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And 3 full yards here for the offense to get on third down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. It'll be a gain of 16 and give him a first down as well.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Here's Rodgers to throw. This will be caught at the 2. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
They'll run it with Johnson, and he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. David Johnson taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. And we've got a good one brewing as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back no matter what the defense throws at them, they feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
1 receiver left, 2 to the right. First down, Prescott. Wide open receiver complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. Back with more of the AFC Championship game after this. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down. You're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Second down, Prescott. Brought in over the middle by Grant. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
19 yards that time for number 19.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one might have the hat trick against them.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And his guys are going to take the lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now ready for another possession. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And he's got room. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I can say this from experience, especially from a defensive back's perspective. There's not many things more terrifying than a toss sweep or a pitch play and all that beef out in front of the runner.
Yeah, I had an old coach say 3 words on those plays, toss or pitch. Set the edge. This is intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we come upon halftime in the AFC title game, as we'll send you down to Orlando, where Larry Ridley has our EA. They find some open field here. Touchdown! Carlos Williams, 104 yards. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Well, looking down at my game card here, that's 5 drives now for them and 4 touchdowns. I think anybody would take an 80% ratio.
I'm sure that they would, but if you flip it over to the other side of the ball, what are they going to hang their hat on? There was one possession. They held them to no score whatsoever. That's where they're going to try and build on and try and slow this team down.
He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right?
David Johnson on his way. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. David Johnson, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens draw a bit closer. He just bumped up his personal stats with a second score, but they still have some ground to make up.
Not terrific for today because of what you just said. They're still down on the scoreboard. But later in the year, when he piles it all up and starts to think about contract time, that's a pretty good deal for him. And I know darn well that you got him in fantasy football, don't you?
I don't. You always think I just appreciate that you think I'm smart enough to have him in fantasy.
Well, you are.
Thanks. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Prescott now on second down. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Let's go!
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's brought down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Let's go!
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
1 receiver left, 2 to the right. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And he's going to drop this off to Williams. Complete. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Prescott. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. On the sneak, it's Prescott. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Prescott to throw this time. Can't find anyone open. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's only gotten in 3 times. You can't give up the 4th one. And on that play, they were able to make the stop.
And you knew they were going to go to him to try to get that 4th.
And why wouldn't they? It's not just getting the 4th. He's the hot hand, so to speak, right? The hot feet in this situation. And he knows how to find the end zone. That time, he just didn't get there.
Prescott on 3rd and goal. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him, that leads to an incompletion.
It will stay right where it is. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one, and I don't think this was blocked. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's brought down after a good game. 23 yards on the play. And at this stage, down in the 2nd half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back, and now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense.
2nd down following the run.
Hey, check 26. Watch twist.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll get it down here to the 43. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection.
26.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He's got time in the pocket. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. And nobody was open downfield there. Looked like a pretty clear throwaway.
Yeah, definitely was that. I'm wondering why there wasn't intentional grounding. I know they're saying there's a receiver there in the area. Those darn quarterbacks, they get away with everything.
Spoken like a true defensive back, Mr. Davis.
Did that come out?
It did. On 2nd down, Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy. 3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. Caught, left side, Bennett. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. Going for the deep ball. And this is caught inside the 5. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 44 yards. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. David Johnson saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now this offense ready to take over again. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of the team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. They give him 17 yards that time, as that'll move the chains. Tie game late, and the offense really has to be conscious of the clock here, as it's becoming a factor late in this ball game. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. So there you go, holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situations, tougher to execute and pick up first downs.
Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Finding his safety valve here, that's complete. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Time for a break. Back to wrap up the AFC Championship game after this. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Prescott on 1st down. He's going to go deep for Conley. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
Looking to throw, Prescott. And he's got his tight end. This is Luke Wilson. And a nice gain at 21 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They've just likely won this thing in regulation. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
And that'll close the books on the conference championship. For Charles Davis, myself, Brandon Gaudin, and our entire crew, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks from the Super Bowl.
I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. The time for talk is over as we are just mere moments away.
Thank you, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and Mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here between the New Orleans Saints and the Toronto Huskies. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And they'll run it here. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Yes, that's today's NFL defensive tackle. Not just a space eater anymore. A guy with agility, movement skills, who can rush the passer and make plays in the offensive backfield.
Here we go.
Play fake. Here's Prescott. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
Defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. And they'll go on the ground. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. And his throw is incomplete. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. A second down throw for Prescott. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Plays like this when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Prescott now. And that's complete to Luke Wilson. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. So here are the Saints with a long field ahead. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
No question at all about his talent, and that's been on display since his first game as a starter at Florida State. On a Monday night, the whole country watching, he only missed 2 passes in the entire game and led his team to a big victory and later a national championship as a freshman.
And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Winston from the gun on third down. And Eifert has it. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. So second down was a run play. Now let's see what they do on third. On third down, Winston. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
Here comes the Saints punter now. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. This is taken around the 12. Oh, he slipped right by him. He had one man to beat. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And now back out comes the offense. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time. See them now play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL now.
Seated to my right, Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Toronto football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. They'll give it to him right up the gut. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
That was an example of excellent defense there. They stumped them. So now it brings up a 3rd down situation. If I'm calling plays here, I make sure I put it in the hands of my quarterback and get it to a receiver real fast. I'm not running the ball here.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down. Now it's Chris Boswell on for the field goal try. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And Boswell's kick is good. And it's 3-0. We finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along? Or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Fielded about a yard deep. Shreds the tackle. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. 101 yards. And the Saints have taken the lead.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
Well, let's be honest. A lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules, and if you do, you're taking on some responsibility, but he was happy to do so there.
Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal.
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown! Chris Conley, 73 yards. And his guys are going to retake the lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Second down here after the incomplete pass. One receiver left, 2 to the right. A second down throw for Winston. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it, because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic, and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
He finds Coates complete. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down.
That's a pretty good throw on the core route there. Third down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
Fresh set of downs here. They come out here in the eye. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
That was a tremendous play by the defensive line. We always talk about leverage versus any play. How about versus the draw? Underneath, they get into the backfield and make a big-time play.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. This is caught. It's Cooks. Touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks, 52 yards. And the Saints have retaken the lead. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. Took him less time than that to get the top speed and complete that play.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now Dak Prescott of the offense heading back onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass. No interceptions for him personally to this point. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Prescott off play action. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Now Prescott. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Here's Colton Schmidt now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got to a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Now a second down throw for Winston. He's going to float. Oh, wide open. Complete. Touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints are able to strike quickly for 6. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Second down following the incompletion.
Let's go!
Play action now. Prescott, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. His second ball. What's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again symptomatic?
Yeah. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. Following the interception, Winston. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Winston again. Over the middle, here to Coates. And he'll take it down shy of 45 at the 46. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. 3rd and short yardage, Winston. And that is incomplete.
Really good, smart play by the defense, understanding 3rd and short, guarding the first down sticks, and being able to make a play on the football and bat it down.
It's away, and it's a high kick here, but not high enough to hit the scoreboard here in Dallas. Taken in at the 11. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And last time, 1 play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action.
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
1 receiver left, 2 to the right. On 1st and 10, Prescott. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
Jameis now on 1st down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. In the red zone this time. First down, Winston. Brought in by Coates. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down. Third down and 3. They'll throw again. Winston. And this is going to be incomplete. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And now it's fourth down. Out now is the field goal unit for New Orleans.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys. Because the offensive guys always talk, find the first down sticks and make the play. Well, on defense, what do you want to do? Guard the first down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They were able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the first down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
They go back to the air here after the INT. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
So the incomplete pass brings up second down. Prescott off play action. He's got time. And he'll be grabbed from behind and slung down like a rag doll. And the Saints signal for another timeout. So as they take it over, we step aside. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Final play of the half. Prescott finding time. Trying to lay one up deep. It's caught inside the 25. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
Well, certainly they haven't had the ideal first half, but there's some momentum for them to take into halftime.
Yeah, it might not be that wild momentum, that you see sometimes where they score late and teams go sprinting off and the whole deal. No, it might not be that, but it does give them a better feeling about themselves and what they can accomplish.
You seriously just skip the halftime of the Super Bowl? Who does that? It's a Super Bowl. Watch the halftime show. All right, here we go. Third quarter action now. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. Play action now. Winston. And did he get the feet down? No. They'll say he did not. It's incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively, and now a chance to turn. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. So we've got a 2nd and 5.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Winston from the gun on 3rd down. This is caught. It's Cooks. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he's got the defense so much on their heels. Got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy? And what type of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
Give him 6 on the play, and it's a 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you stop the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball.
And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Saint touchdown. Devontae Freeman taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Saints add on to their lead.
And we know they won't get their names in the stat sheet, but the offensive line has to get all the credit for that touchdown run. Tremendous job of blocking, paving the way for the 6 points.
Williams to return. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about him.
He's got it at the 15. And all the way in for the touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And his guys are able to cut into that deficit. He has his 2 scores, but still a sizable deficit in this game.
Do you have him in fantasy football this week?
Unfortunately, no.
It's too bad.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get take over here. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. And 1 yard. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. Winston now to throw on 1st down. Surveying the field. And this one caught by Coates. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
That is caught at the 7. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Tyler Eifert from 21 yards away. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now this offense ready to take over again. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Throw, and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Quan Alexander in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player. But, partner, anytime someone tells me that fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a 3rd down attempt.
A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The Saints coming out now to take the field. They run from the pistol here with Freeman. Room here to run. Touchdown, New Orleans. Devontae Freeman, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints add on to their lead. Not only touchdown number 2 for him, but a big run to boot. However, still trailing.
Still trailing, but not because of his efforts. Boy, he's playing really well, and I love his long speed there, right? Able to get out there and burst all the way to the end zone, and smart enough to keep the ball in his hands and get into the end zone for the touchdown. In 2016, on all levels of football, we're seeing guys drop it before the goal line. What's the rule, Brandon? Run into the goalpost
that's right.
Before you drop the ball.
That.
There you go.
And now back out comes the offense. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times?
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. On 2nd down, Freeman. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a third and about 9 to go. So following the run, we'll see what they do here on third down. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. On third down, Winston. He's got time in the pocket. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds. Incomplete. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. And McManus able to put it through. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the fourth.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. We get a look at the Saints defense as they file into position. They had the interception last time, led to a field goal.
And kept points off the board against them as well. What a great way to end a drive. Take it away and set your offense up to put points on the board themselves.
The only thing would have been better, a touchdown. Now they'll be looking to get the stop and lead to that here on the next drive. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
It's caught at the 10, and he will take it in for the touchdown. A big play there with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit. Well, yes, that's his 3rd touchdown catch, which is very impressive, but on the scoreboard, they're still struggling.
So safe to say that without him, my goodness, yikes, they are in major league trouble. He's doing his best to try and keep them in the game.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Freeman again. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
3rd and long for Winston. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Take it in at the 22. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Saints defense getting ready here, heading back onto the field. See if they can regroup a little bit. They gave up the touchdown last drive.
And you know from our meetings with coaches all across the league, one of their pet peeves, when teams get down.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. Cedric Thornton. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground. And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Time for a break. We're back to crown a champion after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Prescott now. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. And there they bring pressure from the inside and they get home.
Yeah, hard to block everyone, isn't it? And on this play, someone did not get blocked. He's the one who got home.
Prescott now on 2nd down. He's going to let it fly. And it's caught. Touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver with a record 4th Super Bowl touchdown tonight. And his guys are able to cut into that deficit. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Throwing up and catching the football, creating space.
And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little game. Now, defensively here, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Another carry for the workhorse tonight, Freeman. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming. And now whistles blow here. Play is stopped, and we're going to get a timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And the defense searches for 1 more stop here after the run on 2nd down. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee. And the Lombardi Trophy is headed back to the Bayou. The New Orleans Saints, Super Bowl champions. And when this moment comes, I think you look back at all the blood, sweat, and tears, the offseason, the workouts. It's worth it.
It certainly is, and rarely do we have a team that hoists the Lombardi Trophy? They didn't have their share of bumps along the way. Didn't have to face some adversity in the journey. And now they get to just enjoy.